Ooh, chilly. Wow, only 56 degrees up here. No wonder it feels cold on my little feet. Looks fantastic. $56. That is surprising. Whoops. Yikes. I had a little fling with a pretty big trout about a year ago right now that had staked out his spot right off of that submerged rock, and I recall it was kind of at the beginning of the October caddis hatch, so it was actually a little later than this. But the first day I came in here, I got him to come up on a hopper pattern, and I must have had a weak spot in my leader, because he broke me off. And then I knew he was there, so a few days later I came back and proceeded to catch him on an October caddis pattern after dreaming about him for a couple of nights. And he was a beautiful fish, but he wasn't big enough to break me off. Which is why I say I must have had a weak spot. So I found with this hole my best approach because of the very tree-lined bank and grassy bank was to do the old backwards cast into these spots. So all I'm doing is making a good double haul all I'm doing is making a good old cast like I'm going downstream, and then oh my god. Alright, making a good long cast like I'm going downstream, and then kind of double hauling it back upstream. It's a good way to keep the fly dry too. I don't like that drift. Alright, slow down. So just making a normal cast, and then there we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. Kind of nice at the moment. There's not a lot of breeze, so this works pretty good. This particular stretch of the river that I call summer camp is also a pretty tough wade because there's a pretty steep cut bank over here with a lot of slippery rocks that doesn't necessarily lend itself to. There we go. But it has produced probably top 5 for me, but it's not always as good as it looks. And I think it gets hit pretty good. I know that I've seen a couple of walk-in guides that bring their customers here, but that looks awfully good on the water. Alright, and then I'll make the obligatory roll casts out to the best spots I can reach. And it gets a little bit easier up here. Oh, I think I just heard a fish splash at my dragged fly. So anyway, the reason I call this summer camp is I noticed last year there was a guy who brought his fifth wheel in here at the beginning of the summer, and it never moved. And I don't even think he was a fisherman, because I never saw anybody else working this stretch of the river. Oh, that was a good rise. That should have been caught on cam. Wasn't a huge fish, but he went after it with some gusto. So let's go right back in there again. Ooh, good drift. All right, let's dry them out a little bit and then redirect ourselves so that we can make some Some roll casts. There we go. God, I hope that was on film. That was such a cool rise. It was all slow like. Very lazy take. That's a decent cutty. Yeah, I hope I get to play around with editing that take because there was a lot to it. Whoa! That little run took me by surprise. He's not a giant, but I will take him. Healthy. Healthy, healthy. Haha, not quite there. They sure fight good in this 58-degree water. I'll tell you what. They have so much more energy compared to that mid-60s that after our hottest streak this summer, they were a little lethargic. But we don't suffer up here like a lot of the Montana streams do, where the water gets so warm that they have to like restrict fishing and all the rest of it. Up here in the mountains, we pretty much peaked at 64 degrees, and it would take some very unusual late hot streaks to get us even back up there, because after all, it is September tomorrow. This guy was a fantastic fighter for his size. That's amazing. It's better than some of the fish pushing 20 I had this year were. All right, fly's already out. Let's see if we can get it off my finger. There we go. Love it. And there he goes on a dart.